Owens, and I'm back again with another edition of So What Success Stories with Summer. And today I have a really, really exciting interview for you. I have my friend, Jermaine Johnson. Jermaine became my friend, or we met back in 2001. 99, 98, somewhere back in there. He is one of my longtime University of Memphis alumni friends, and he has a super exciting story. I have been following his journey for the now 20 years that we've been out of college, and he is at a pivotal point in his career, and coming off some very, very exciting news from this past weekend. And so I was like, yeah, we have got to talk. I've been wanting to talk to him anyway, but now is like the perfect time to talk to him. Jermaine Johnson is assistant men's basketball coach for the University of Memphis Tigers, who are hot almost always, but especially right now. And I'm so excited that Jermaine is a very big part of the story right now with the University of Memphis. So we're gonna get into the interview, but Jermaine, tell us a little bit about yourself to get us started.
First and foremost, I want to thank you for inviting me on your platform. I am peacock proud. I'm honeymoon happy. I'm elephant elated to be on this So What platform. And so actually, we do go back 20 years. I think spring of 2000. And so you've been with me somewhat every step of the way, even when I had my own business and doing partnership with the Memphis Grizzlies. You forgot I forgot about that.
Forgot about that part, yeah.
I am a native Memphian, graduate of Ridgeway High School, and then I went to play junior college basketball at Chattahoochee Valley in Phoenix City, Alabama, and then played at Division I at the University of Texas Arlington. After my playing career ended, I came back to Memphis, and then I enrolled at the University of Memphis. So that's a little bit about me. But I was a high school coach here in the Memphis area at Melrose High School, and so that's where my career kind of catapulted. So.
And now you are back as a coach for the University of Memphis. So let's get into this story. So in this program, I have what I call the So What Success System. And that's learning how to overcome obstacles, eliminate excuses, and calculate choices. And when you learn how to do those things, I feel like anyone can achieve so what success. And that's success in spite of any obstacles you face. And so, Jermaine, my first question for you is about overcoming obstacles. Talk to us a little bit about some of the obstacles you've had to overcome to get to where you are today. And I mean, like I said, I follow you on social media, and I know right now you are kind of in your dream job where you wanted to be. But you maybe didn't see yourself here, or you had to overcome a number of things to get here.
It's a great question. First obstacle I had to overcome was beating the odds of getting out of North Memphis. That's the first obstacle. Went to Snowden Junior High, and I could easily went to North Side, could easily went to Central, but my mom and dad made a decision to send me to Ridgeway High School, which was a diverse environment from a high school perspective for a minority. When you had a bunch of white kids, that was the majority at Ridgeway at the time. So that was the first obstacle, getting out of North Memphis. The second obstacle was being able to get a Division I scholarship. I didn't pass the ACT, where I wasn't, I was not a qualifier coming out of high school. So I had to go to junior college route. So back then, a lot of people looked down at junior college, like, oh, this kid don't have the academics. So that was the second obstacle. I achieved getting my associate's degree. And then I was able to go on to play 4 year at a 4 year institution, University of Texas Arlington. So those obstacles in my early part. Then when I began substitute teaching and coaching high school basketball as an assistant coach, I said, man, I want to run my own program. Well, obviously you got to be certified to teach. And so when I first got hired at Melrose, I was hired on an alternative license. And so started my first year building a program. 3 years snuck up on me. My second year, I passed my content knowledge test, which was the hardest of being certified. I went to Tennessee Tech, and I went through their TEP program, their teacher education program. program and passed all those courses that was required, those pre-required courses that I needed to be able to get my teacher license. So I had one more test to take. My third year, it snuck up on me. I just won a state title. I met a gentleman who was at our parade and like, man, you do a great job, man. But I heard you got to pass one more test. I said, yeah, it's only the content knowledge. I'm not the content knowledge, but the PLT. I'm gonna take care of it for it. I got you. And me being young and how on my own supply, I bit into it and made a terrible mistake at that moment. And then in 3 years later, I was teaching PE in my classroom. A TBI agent came and interviewed me. I knew he was there for it because I had already seen it.
Oh, wow.
And I told the truth. I knew at the end of the school year I wasn't gonna be able to teach anymore, and it was devastating at that moment. So I'm like, what am I gonna do with my life now? I was this hot young high school coach that was impacting lives, and so now what do I do now? So what? And so
Yes.
I turned to my faith. Faith never failed, and God told me one thing. He said, that everything that have breath, say so. You say so. So I praise the Lord at all times in the good. And he led me, gave me a plan. And my college coach told me, look, after I was working at Job Corps. It was October, December. I was working at Job Corps. He called me and said, look, you're getting out of Memphis. I want you to go take this graduate assistant job at Georgia Southern. He know your story. It'll be good for you. You won't be there long. Wow, what did it pay? Well, you're gonna pay for your master's, and it's gonna pay you $700 a month. Went down there, got in my truck, drove 9 hours to Statesboro, Georgia. This rarely happened, but their season had already begun. This was in December. And after that happened, and went down there, they treated me with the utmost respect. They didn't treat me like I was a normal graduate assistant. They knew I won state championships. I had developed players throughout my AU organization, so they respect the respect factor, and that was very comforting. And then the coach called me in his office after the season. This was right before the Final Four. He's like, "You need to go book your plane ticket to the Final Four. You won't be here long. I just got a feeling you're gonna get a job." And so got a job. I interviewed with two potential head coaching candidates at the Final Four, and I got offered the job at the University of Tennessee Martin. That's where my career collegially went to another level, and we did some amazing things in those 6 years that I was there. 3 years I was promoted to associate head coach, and so that's the first quarter of my journey.
Okay. Well, look, I appreciate you sharing it with me. I didn't know that was part of your story. And I can always respect and appreciate when somebody can share a vulnerable moment like that and be really, really transparent about something that could be considered embarrassing, but it's so awesome that you shared that. And I love that you said, I was honest. I was honest. And how you are turning, how you have turned that thing around. So I'm ready to get even deeper into the story. So the next part of the So What success system is eliminating excuses. So you learning how to overcome obstacles, and you've overcome some tremendous obstacles. And I know that was just the icing on the cake that you just shared. But the next part is eliminating excuses. So what are some of the excuses that you have made in your life, or some of the excuses that you could have made in your life that have held you back or could have held you back that you had to get over?
Well, going back to the story I just told you, I told you the beginning of the story. So I had to eliminate excuses. I had to have a no excuse mindset. And so going through that journey and that process, all I could think about was when I played Kappa Alpha Psi. They used to always tell us excuses are tools of incompetence, used by those to build monuments of nothingness. Those who use them set them up anything. So I'm like, okay, I'm at UT Martin, but what do I do while I'm here? How do I make up for my mistake? So I didn't make any excuses. I enrolled in a master's program at Concordia University in Irvine. And so as I was in the office late night, I would be writing papers, doing research. And before you know it, in 2014, a year later, I received my master's degree of coaching and athletic administration. And so I said, man, I did that. So my 6 years at UT Martin, my boss, we really weren't seeing eye to eye. So I stepped away in the middle of the season. And so this was January 2019 or 20, 19, one of them, 19 or 20. And so people like, man, what are you doing back home? Well, I went to Barnes and Noble every morning. I was there at 9:30 to look at the PLT booklet. I was studying through the PLT, and then my sister said, well, you think you're ready for it? You think you're gonna pass it? Like, I'm gonna pass it because I'm gonna make a statement for everybody that crucified me. And so I took the test, I passed it. Next thing you know, I got a job the next month at Troy, at the job next month at Troy. While doing so, I contacted some Shelby County school administrators that knew I had done community service, some collegiate coaches. They wrote me letters, sent it to the state. And because I didn't make any excuses, the board unanimously said, you know what, we're gonna grant you your teacher license back, which was unprecedented. Everybody that went through that teacher scandal, they weren't teaching anymore. They couldn't teach because I did the unthinkable. I took initiative. I owned up. I gritted up for the mistakes that I had made because I felt like, you know what, God had already told me, you're going to make a touchdown. It's going to be a God thing. And so I didn't make any excuses. Had I made some excuses, I wouldn't be where I am today.
That's powerful. That's powerful. So powerful. And I think about how many people, though, in that same position, like you said, their careers are probably destroyed, right? They're probably destroyed because they didn't admit to what they did and make that pivot just like you did. But you owned up to it and you made something super positive and powerful from it. And I think, and I'm also excited about the people who are going to see this video and get the lesson in it. Because a lot of people have made that mistake. I even remember when we were in undergrad, I was dating a basketball player. He was not a coach, but he was a basketball player. And, you know, I know a lot of players have the opportunity to cheat, you know, and
Right.
And that was something that happened to him and a lot of the different players, but he got caught and it destroyed his career. He had to sit out for his senior year. And of course, that's when scouts are looking at him the most. And it really, really destroyed him. And so I can appreciate you sharing that story and the path that you took with it and how you had to eliminate those excuses and move forward from it. The third part of the So What Success system is calculating choices. And you've talked about that throughout our time already. Some of the choices that you did, that you had to make. Talk about that a little bit more. Some really, really calculated choices that you had to make to get to where you are today.
Well, to be able to get people to believe you, you have to have the unlitigated gall to make people believe that you're changed because people can put you in a box and label you. And I had to come to fruition that I'm going to live my life outside the labels. And so I believe trust need three things. And, that's time, that's consistency, and that's proof. But you also have to live in the truth. And how do you live in the truth? I had to ask myself that question. What's three things? You have to live it, you have to tell it, and you have to take it. You have to live in the truth, you have to tell the truth, and then you got to take the truth. And so by me doing those things, I think uh, the calculated, what you call it, the calculated
Calculated choices. Those were choices, yeah.
was beneficial because I lived in the truth and I was able to get people to trust me, like Coach Hardaway, like my former bosses at Troy and UT Martin, because a lot of times when people Google you, they're like, you gonna hire this dude? You gonna hire him? Why not hire me? You made a mistake, you just ain't been caught, you know? Or just the grace of God have covered you. Well, for me, he covered me and I had a public crucifixion, but I also knew that God was going to give me a public resurrection.
So talk about that a little bit. How did you get to Memphis?
Man, when Mike Miller had resigned his job, I stayed. Actually, coach offered me the job when he first got it. It wasn't in a full-time role. It's going to be like a special assistant, because it was his first year coaching college basketball, and he had the thing he wanted to, hire NBA guys. So I understood that, and at that time I was the associate head coach. Like, man, I'm one step from the big C. Do I take a step back to move forward? And I prayed about it, and at that moment I didn't. I stayed there, and just stayed consistent, constant with them. Stayed a CEO per se. What I mean CEO, I communicated. I was efficient in my approach with him, and I was organized when I decided to pursue the job the third time. And so, just the relentlessness, being constant and consistent, and just being really transparent and just showing him a plan of how I would be an asset to his organization. And it was a 10-month process. 5 of those months, I didn't know I was interviewing really. But then those last 5 months, I knew it was a waiting, had to be patient. And my grandma always told me he may not come when he want him to come, but he's always on time. So
Right on time. So tell us about that moment then when you got the news, because I saw it on Facebook and I could feel your excitement. I was excited for you. Talk about that.
Man, he called me and told me to meet him at Big Bill's. It was like a 2-day. It was like a 2-day celebration, but I didn't grasp it that Saturday. But he called me, let's meet Saturday night, and we had our circle of influence there, and we just talking and talking. And the next day, we met for brunch at Big Bill. And he said, well, okay, follow me to the office. Well, I knew the next day they was getting ready to fly to South Dakota. And he brought me into the conference room, and we went over some X and O's over the board. And he's like, okay, I'm thinking we're getting ready to walk out. He's like, tell JJ, come here. And I walked into an office. It was an empty office with a big old Nike bag with all my stuff I'm supposed to take to South Dakota with my contract on the desk. I fell on my knees and started praying. Wow, it was just crazy. It was crazy.
That's how you got the word. Wow. We're getting on the plane.
Yep. The next morning we was flying to South Dakota.
That's awesome. All right. So now then talk about another exciting moment, which just happened this past weekend, Nit Championship. Talk about that experience.
Oh man, it was a surreal moment because we wanted to be an NCAA tournament team, and down the stretch we kind of coughed up 2 opportunities, which was against Houston, who was a Final Four team, as you all know, and we was that close. We knew, man, we could beat Houston. We were one of the top teams in the country, but we took advantage of the opportunity to play in the NIT, which is a very competitive, tradition-rich tournament, and we had the goal of going in there winning. We just didn't want to be a participant. We wanted to make history again, or rewrite history again, and win it, and have a good foundation going forward with our program. And so we did it, and we did it in good fashion because it kind of dominated. We started to really gel, and our guys really understood it ain't how you start, it's how you finish. And so if you can win your last game, then obviously you don't want a championship. So man, it was just another surreal moment, which was one that I know was a God thing.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting for me to be on this side of it too, watching it, and seeing people that I know that are connected to it. It's just exciting. It's exciting. And then just following your journey and what I know of your journey, seeing you be a part of it. And not just being a part of it, but really making it happen, being a critical part of making it happen. I'm just super, super excited for you, super excited for the team, and of course, super excited for the University of Memphis, who everybody knows that I absolutely love. Okay, I just want to give you an opportunity to talk about those moments because I know those are big and I know those are exciting. So it's the So What success system, and that's the main thing I talk about in this program is overcoming obstacles, eliminating excuses, calculating choices so you can achieve So What success. You talked about a major setback in your life. You talked about a number of obstacles, even going back to childhood, that without the right choices, right, and the right mindset and learn how to overcome those obstacles, you wouldn't be where you are right now. And even some in a bad decision that could have totally derailed your career, the decisions that you made that got you right back on the right path and have you in this beautiful position that you're in right now. That's So What success. That's So What success, and that's success in spite of your obstacles. Now, one more question, and that is, how do you personally define success?
I personally define success as a choice, but I love the word success, but I want to feel excellence. But success is a choice. I want the viewers to know that. But me personally, I want to feel excellence. It's just like when you go into the gas station. You can settle for a half tank of excellence, or you can settle for a full tank. I want to feel a full tank of excellence, not just mentally, but emotionally, socially, and physically. So I want to feel excellent. But success is a choice.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It's just funny you say that because yeah, in one of my early speeches, that was the main thing I said. That was a one-liner. Just like you just said, that success is a choice, and it's something that we all need to embrace. It's not for the lucky people. It's for people who choose to go after it, just the people who choose to make it happen.
Right.
One last, it's not even a question, but what advice would you give? Because I love your spirit. It's so calm. You when so you think of like a coach who's like yelling out, and maybe you are like that on the sidelines. I don't know, or in practice. But it's so calm. But what advice would you give to somebody who wants to be successful, but they're dealing with some challenges? So this might be a student, like you and I once were. It may be a younger person that wants to get out of North Memphis, like you said before, or maybe it's somebody that's young in their career. Maybe it's a fellow coach, but somebody who wants to be successful, but they are running into obstacles. What kind of advice would you give them?
The first thing I would suggest, it's gonna sound kind of toxic turbid, is I hope you fail. I hope you fail, because failure is the price tag for success. And because failure is the price tag for success, you could fail, but your faith can't fail. And if you can stay faithful over few things, God will make you rule over many. And then the development part of it, because faith without works is dead. The development part of it, you got to have a skill set, you got to have a mindset. But then when you have the skill set and the mindset, you also have to reset. Because right now, our skill set, we develop our players, our mindset, we won a championship. But now guess what? It's a new day. You got to reset, because people love successful people and they want to see a good product. And so we got to reset and rewire and be able to begin again with the end in mind.
I love it. I love it. That's it. That is it. Short and sweet and full of wisdom. Short and sweet and full of wisdom. Thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on where you are in life right now. Congratulations on this big win. And congratulations for all that's to come, because I see amazing things happening for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
My honor.